So this is one of those weeks that I could sum up as nothing's going as I planned. I had multiple days this week where I've gotten up and planned to do one thing, and then somebody gets in the middle of it, and then it goes a whole different route. Today I actually got up early. Of course, it was the hottest day it's been so far, and I was going to take my dogs to the cemetery and do all that stuff early and do a video over there. And then my aunt contacted me right as I was getting ready to leave the house. Normally that's around the time that I am in the process of getting up and moving. But I mean, it's no big deal. It's just I had one thing that I was going to do, and then it ended up not happening. And it's been a lot of that this week. And of course, a big part of it is my own fault. I will admit this, because I don't have to just change my plans because somebody else wants to do something or suddenly contacted me. But I pretty much know how the days are going to go anyway. It's not like there's anything going on where she couldn't go with me. It just slows me down on the video aspect, which again, it's no big deal, but like it's been 3 days since I last did a video, and that's alright because I haven't been hugely in the mood to on some of it. I was actually gung-ho about it yesterday, and then it didn't happen, and then I ended up deciding not to skate because I was just kind of wiped out. And what I was going to do for the video is Friday morning I woke up and like I couldn't go to sleep or go back to sleep for a while, and I just like my head wouldn't stop. So when that happens, I will either grab my phone or grab a notebook and start sending myself messages. I have a text chat that's just to self, and it's just me doing a dump of everything in my head that is keeping me from falling asleep. And I think I will share it at some point, but I'm not entirely sure that's the route I want to go right now. I mean, it's it's one of those. It's kind of, I feel like if you start stirring stuff up, then commit or go, commit or go home. And I know I will be sharing those thoughts, and sometimes they creep out into other videos, and that's fine, but they're not as organized and clear on the thinking or the thought processing of them. But sitting on the porch swing, and then heard my dad had something playing on for church on the TV, and it got me all fired up again. It's like, okay, so maybe just the fact that I am getting as fired up about this specific issue at the moment means I need to cool it back off for a minute. Not that it's not a legitimate thing to be angry about, but maybe my approach wasn't going to be as ideal as it could be in another circumstance. So, yeah. So I ended up, like, I thought about coming down to the school and doing one of these anyway. But, as I let myself take some space from that aggravation, it's like, I don't think that's the ideal time to bring it up. Yeah. I did my energy for the month oracle draw today, and it was good, and there's some stuff that I got to thinking about. I actually wrote down some of the information from one of the cards because it's relevant for my life. But yeah, it says this was for my spirit energy for the month of May. It says your psychic gifts and talents are being activated at this time. Trust what you see, hear, feel, and know, for whatever you're picking up is absolutely correct. Your sensitivity is so heightened that you will be able to evaluate others' characters quickly, read between the lines, and see things before they happen. Know that this ability will get stronger as you use your psychic gifts to know and heal. In the past, your sensitivity was overwhelming because you didn't understand it or how to direct it. You have prepared yourself for this moment. Through embracing your uniqueness, you can help others embrace theirs. This is not time to fit in or conform. This is the moment you let the world know who you are. And that just kind of fit. And, because I talk about these knowings a lot. And, when I was in high school, I saw stuff happen that's just now coming around to happening. Or in the recent past, like Tyler's death. So I saw that when I was 18. I knew that he was going to die when we were in our mid-30s, and that it would bring everybody back together for a little while. And then I knew that 40 was where I finally started figuring things out. And then there was that additional knowing that I didn't really get at the time, but has kind of become more clear in the past year. But like it talked about, it was overwhelming back then because I didn't understand it or know how to direct it. Yeah. I panicked then. Got the information about Tyler and kind of shut down and ran for as long as I could, until it happened anyway. And then it was just like, well, what I knew was going to happen happened, so no sense in running from it anymore. And it wasn't my fault, but here I am at 40 before I am starting to figure things out for myself. So it makes it completely relevant, completely accurate, because there was a lot of stuff that, like, I would see different aspects of, even as far as bullies in the hallway, and then feeling like there was some sort of situation where I was on a stage and they were in the audience and they were not happy I was where I was, but at the same time, they haven't done the work to choose differently for their own lives. I think the past 3 years I've heard a lot of people talking about doing main character shit. It's like, I'm ready. I'm tired of doing all this other bullshit trying to fit into other people's molds and whatnot. So, yeah. And anytime I've ever tried to just fit in with the world around me, it usually goes very opposite of how I would like for it or intend for it to go. So, yeah. There was another card that I was reading earlier, and they were like the energy for, there's the overall month of May, and there's love energy, money energy, work, health, and spirit. And I had like 14 cards, so I don't remember what all of them were. I want to say it was probably the Gaia card, because that talks about resilience. But the very last thing it talks about is if you feel like you're pushing through a barricade, it's because you need to take the opportunity to... Basically, it's a test. And are you going to continue what you know to be accurate, or are you going to change your mind and back down from it just because it's taking a long time and it doesn't seem like anything's happening? I watched a Esoterro video yesterday, and in it she made the comment about things aren't moving at light speed, they're moving at earth speed. It's like, yeah. I don't remember where I read the thing that talked about, it might have even been something I heard in another tarot reading, where they were talking about you get incredibly frustrated that things don't materialize as quickly as you want them to, because basically you come from another place where things materialize a lot faster. And so this slow-paced manifestation is a struggle. I'd say that's accurate. Even if I had my years of knowing what was going to happen with Tyler and with turning 40 and all that crap, and then I had time and at the time I wasn't aware that, I guess, of how my decisions that I was making were affecting my future one way or the other. But like the thing about the spiritual gifts, and they get stronger the more you use them and learn to trust them. And I feel like, and I have said this before, maybe not on a video, it might just have been journaling, but I've always had the tendency to, like, I'll see things one way, and then when it doesn't look like anything's happening in that direction, then I'll start to doubt myself or give up on it. And I feel like the more you do that, the more it shuts like your intuition down, because you're not listening to it. So what's the point? Why should it help you out? So I feel like I spent a lot of time doing that, and it's only been in the past 5 years or so that I've been actively working to get it back. But I mentioned the other day that I have mentioned my Cancer placements. My Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Mars and Rising are all in Cancer, and Rising is the only one that is in the first house. All the rest of those are in the 12th house, which is deals with the subconscious, and of course it's led by the Moon, very feeling, and I've always had the tendency to lose track of what's mine and what I pick up otherwise from people or places around me. And then I get really wishy-washy. And apparently there's, I think it was Neptune conjunct Mars this week. And the thing that I had read about it talked about basically that wishy-washiness of that as well. It's like, great, because I need more help on being wishy-washy for anything. Fabulous. But I think that's why I get this joy of feeling like there are these barricades to push through, and am I going to stick to what I know and believe, and that the universe has shown me so far, or am I going to let everybody that questions anything I say or do take a toll on my own confidence in what I have learned over the past year? That makes sense. And I know that I have had real world people that if I say anything about twin flames, they're like, okay, sure. And a lot of people don't buy into it, and that's fair, and especially if you're not on the path, you're not going to get it anyway. But I feel like that's one of those things that the universe has me on this path, and well, I have me on this path now too, because that is one thing that, as much as I have given up on it in the past, it's the one thing that is most motivating to keep me moving forward. And yeah, I've had some bad habits this week that I've fallen back into, today included. And I can say this, and earlier today, when I was in between making some of those decisions to follow the old bad habits, I had this little thing. I got into Facebook for like 2 minutes, and there was a little meme that popped up that was talking about, if you allow yourself to fall back into the ways of the old, then you're going to see more of the negativity and more of the old ways that haven't worked. But if you allow yourself to choose differently and step into the new, then you open yourself to new opportunities that you've never had before. It's like, yeah. It was relevant, and I still continued with the old patterning. But as I said the other day, even the backsliding days are necessary parts of the path, because they do happen less often, and I get frustrated when they come back up, but not as frustrated as I get when some of the old attitudes and behaviors of people I'm around start coming back up too. And there was some of that today too. So yeah, it's ongoing. Live and learn, and each time, like before, like when I'd get into the backsliding habits, it might go on for a lot longer because I wasn't trusting myself in general back then, or I was still doubting the intuition and all that. But as I start to trust the intuition more and more, I want to do less of the stuff that takes me away from the the gaining forward momentum on my spiritual gifts and using them however I can. Because it's a chronic thing. This has been my life, and it's a back and forth. And, you know, however far you swing one way is how far you can go the other way, or whatever. You know, so we have those darkness, or those moments just slide back into the dark habits and the less favorable things. But it makes room for you to be able to go further the other direction. Of course, nothing is ever going to be only all positive. So you still have to learn to navigate within the back and forth of existence. Anyway, yeah. So that's kind of what I've been thinking about today. And maybe I should just stop trying to have a plan. Maybe that's part of the problem, and just, you know, focusing more on living in the moment and see where the moment takes me. And do I want to do this, or do I want to do this? And if somebody shows up and says, oh, hey, how about this? It won't make me feel like I just completely threw the whole day away. Because I didn't. I did get some stuff done that I wanted to do today. And I am doing a video now. Might have been a little better earlier, and, you know, maybe I'd be less sweaty anyway, since I just got done skating. But it is what it is. So, as always, if you made it this far, I appreciate you. And even if you didn't, still appreciate you. Until the next time, see ya.